All right, guys, welcome back to the shack. And I've had a lot of people asking me recently about materials and what kind of materials I use from here or there or whatever. And I usually stick to materials that I can pick up at local hardware stores. And I can transport it back home in a 4x8 sheet, break it down, and use it from there. I've most recently started using a pre-finished plywood, which I have fell in love with because it makes the cleanup process so much nicer. And a lot of you guys have been reaching out to me and asking where I get the pre-finished plywood that I used or where you could find something similar. And coincidentally, a while back, I had a company reach out and send me just a free sample. This is not a review video or any kind of paid thing. It's just they sent it to me and just said, hey, use it and let us know what you think. And since so many people are asking me these days, hey, where can I get a plywood similar to that? Where can I get this or where can I get that? I decided, why not? It's close to Christmas. We'll make an ornament with it. We'll try out, see how it works. Maybe even do some speed and power tests to give you guys an idea of what to expect. And the material is this stuff. They're calling it TruFlat. It appears that it is made in Canada, up to the north of us here. And they've sent me this little pack, and it's been sitting on my supply shelf for several weeks, or months maybe. And so tonight we're gonna crack into this guy with a couple of different lasers and see what I think about it. So if that's something you're into, stick around and we're gonna see if it stays flat. All right, guys, before we get into the video, let's go ahead and look at this stuff so that you don't sit here and watch a video if it's something that you're not interested in. This is the name of the company. It's TruFlat. They sent this out to me, like I said, just to try. They're not paying me. Didn't give me an affiliate account, nothing. It's just like they sent it out and said, hey, try it. A lot of you guys are always asking about materials, so I figure what the heck, we would do a little quick video tonight and just show it to you, because I've had a lot of people that are really new to it that have sent me messages saying, hey, I really want to be able to do some ornaments for this Christmas, just got the machine. And so I think this is a good alternative for those that don't have a whole shop, but you have a laser. Minimal tools required. Like I said, a little bit of cleaning agent, whether it be Windex, just water, rubbing alcohol to clean the stuff with, a laser, a little bit of twine, some glue, and you can make some really awesome Christmas ornaments. So this is their website. I will drop a link down below in the description if you want to look at some of the statistics and the technical data. We're not going to get into that. They are claiming that it's got some pretty smooth tolerances as far as you don't have to worry about it being thick or thinner. That's a good thing. That's going to help make sure that the cut's consistent. It is saying that it's pre-finished, which it is. We can vouch for that. Affordable is a matter of perspective, in my opinion. It does say that it's 50% less than other pre-finished plywoods, but there again, affordable is a relative term, so I'm not gonna be echoing it, but that's what they're claiming. We can confirm tonight that you don't necessarily have to mask it, so that is a big time saver and labor saver. Paint fills, some wipe on paint fills. I didn't try that, but I can tell you from what I saw, it looked like it would work really, really well. Sublimation, that's not something I know about, so we're not even going to talk about that. But here's the prices, guys, and they've got a sale going right now, so you're in luck on that part. I waited just long enough to do the video, I guess. Looks like you're just knocking a couple of dollars off, but I believe this is the pack that I had, $28. Comes with the maple, oak, walnut, black, linen, and white. So it's like a variety packed. It does say for CO2 and diode lasers. Well, that's good because we just did it with both. And these sheets are 12 by 19. So it's 1/8 material, 3 millimeters. So, or they're about 3 millimeters. So there you go. And if you have a favorite color, if you get this pack and you like it and you want to order others, then you can buy them apparently in just, that color. So that's it. Like I said, not going into any details with it. If you want to look at the statistics and the, all that specifications, then just go here. I'll drop the link down below. So let's get to making some stuff, guys. All right, guys. So I've got a variety of machines that I can try this stuff on. But for you diode guys, this is going to be the diode testing of this stuff. We could go with the X40, the A70, or we could use the S1. But all those machines are 40 watt or bigger. So tonight, what I want to do is I'm going to go with MK. So we're using the Roly MK2 Lasermatic to cut some of this stuff. And then if we have time and the video's not too long, we'll jump over to another machine and do a little cutting with it too. So let's get this set up and we're going to try some of this out in the MK2. Now, before we do, I want to show you the different colors. So we've got basically a white oak color. This is kind of like some kind of almost like wallpaper-ish look. This closely resembles maybe like a oak or maple or something like that. It's not a, I don't know. I don't know exactly what that's called, but you see what it looks like. All right, then we've got this sheet here, which is kind of a white color. I've got this black dark here, and this, which I'm guessing is going to be somewhere along the color of, say, black walnut. It's like a brown color. Now, this is an MDF core with like a coating, and I'm going to try to get it where you can see it. So it's like an MDF core. Well, not going to want to focus, guys, but anyway. It's basically 3mm MDF with some type of coating on it. So it could be a little challenging, but we're going to try it out first on the 30 watt setting with the MK. Let's do a couple of little test cuts, see what we come up with. All right, so 8mm a second. I think that's going to be definitely going to be the cut speed. The black, I haven't tested, but typically, you know, black's going to cut faster than any other color if there is a discrepancy with the colors. The wood's the same on the inside, so really other than that little bit of loss of power from the lighter colors being a little more reflective than the black, it really shouldn't vary. So we're just gonna use that same speed and power for every color in this box. It seems to work pretty well. Like I said, if you do an engrave and you're doing these light colors, it is the soot from the deep engrave that I did is kind of getting on the surrounding material, so I'm having to clean it and then go back and kind of clean around the engrave once I get the soot off of it. So, but all in all, it cleans up relatively well. So there we go. All right, so I think I want to do a couple of tests on a piece. We'll use the white just for you guys that maybe have a more powerful laser. I think I want to run it on a couple more machines just to give you an idea. Mainly, we'll run it on the Atomstack Hurricane, which is a CO2, because that way you can know how well it does with the CO2 and a diode also. So let me get that set up and we'll be right back. All right, so what I'm going to do is just open up a new window in Lightburn here. For those that are sometimes asking me, how do you run multiple lasers on a machine? This is how. And then I'm going to select the Hurricane. We'll go over here to the command line. I'm going to make sure that it finds my Hurricane. You can see there that it did. Connected to the Hurricane. And I'm going to home the machine, which it automatically homed. So we are good. I'm going to move the gantry out of the way, put it in the parked location. And I'm going to take my camera here and update the overlay. And so we're going to put a little cut up here. Change that to a cut. Now this is a 55 watt CO2, so I should be able to get substantially more cutting ability. So I'm going to run that one at a speed of 15mm a second. All right, this is, and the cool thing about this machine is this is 3mm material. So I'm going to set, just to make it cut a little bit easier, I'm going to set my Z offset to 1.5, and that's going to bring the nozzle of the laser closer to the material by 1.5mm, which is going to give me a little more consistent focus all the way through the material. And so we're going to run 15mm a second at that with a 1.5 Z offset. And then for the engrave, I'm going to take and I'll just do a little small line inside there. We'll change that to an engrave. This is a 55 watt, so we're going to run, I'm going to say 300. And set this at 200 LPI. That looked pretty good on the other one. Yep, all that's good. All right, so between these two little cuts here, I do want to kind of center them. So there we go. I'm gonna go up here. I'm gonna right click on this little dollar sign right here, or pound sign I mean, and sort cuts last, because I don't want, especially with using a blade bed like this, I want to engrave before I cut, because there's a chance that the material could fall through there before it gets engraved if I cut it first. So with this machine, I'm going to move the laser over onto the material. Anywhere will work. Once I get it onto the material, then I'm going to come over here to my commands, and I'm going to hit the focus button. That's going to basically run the little touch probe down, set the z-axis 0, and this is going to enable my machine to know where exactly the surface of the material is, and that way it can accommodate for that 1.5 millimeter Z offset inward that I have set. So let me go close the lid on the machine, and we'll send this file. All right, so a lot less charring on the surrounding material with the CO2. So that is one of the big differences as far as the two machines. With this one, the charring wasn't as bad with this material, so that's cool. Of course, my engrave's not as dark either, so it's kind of a sell-off, I guess, with the CO2 with this material. So I'm gonna wipe it really good. I want to make sure I got it nice and clean, like I said. So yeah, and I'm having a terrible time getting this complete. It's a little small. I should have probably made it bigger. I have a hard time holding on to it. So there we go. So yeah, it turned out okay. The engrave is not as dark as it is with the diode, but that's typical. Most wood isn't. The edges even isn't quite as dark as it was with the diode. So I'm gonna wipe the edge here and see. Yeah, but you do get less charring on the edges. So it's a sell-off. Engraving is not as dark, but not as much charring and not as much soot around the edges either. So I think we're gonna cut us a little Christmas ornament right quick, just to give you an idea of what I think this material is good for. So let's get back down into the screen. All right, down here into my Christmas files, if I can get them to load. All right, so what we'll do is we'll make a nativity. I think I'm gonna make a nativity ornament here. Yeah, that'd be cool. So we're going to, well, no, I'm gonna cut that out of a different color material, so we'll wait on that. We'll take that, throw this guy over there, grab me a little nativity scene. I'm gonna need to resize that appropriately. We'll put that, actually I may want to do this in black and then do the background in white. That might be better. So take those two, center that. Looks pretty decent. Everything's not touching, so I'm gonna go ahead and hit those, put those together. Let me get me a little square or a line here. All right, so I'm gonna swap this material. Give me just a second. All right, so back over here on the screen, guys. I went ahead and put me a sheet of black in there on the right, and it's kind of hard to tell because of the brightness, but I got a sheet of black on the right and a sheet of white on the left, and I'm gonna make this ornament with these two cuts. And this is gonna be a no paint ornament because I'm gonna just cut everything out of these materials. Now, the thing about this is, in order for me to cut all of this out of this material and just glue it to the other one, I've got to make sure that these elements are connected. So I'm going to ungroup those, and you can see here that this little star it's not touching anything. So if I don't connect that some way to the other parts of this design, what is going to end up happening is it's going to fall out. So I'm just going to stretch it a little bit. Then we're going to select all of it and add it together there. So if you ever start trying to add something together and it keeps deleting it like that, usually it means that the other pieces aren't grouped properly. And so now we can go in here and like right here, you can see this is not, it's not connected like it needs to be. So I'm going to click that, go in here to some node editing, but I don't want to delete that one. So there we go. And then I'm just going to drag these few right here up there to make that connect there. And then we got the same thing going on over here. So that's all I really wanted. I just wanted those to intersect. So now I can go back over here, change that back to a fill, and then add those together and see now this is connected, and so is that. That's just to make sure that those pieces don't fall out on the cut. So got that set up. I'm gonna put this piece over here on the black, and then I'm gonna bring in the background part over here on my white. And what I should end up with is a white back for this ornament and a black silhouette of the nativity scene there. These got the cuts last. If you don't, just right click right here on the little hashtag $ or a pound sign, hit sort cuts last. But luckily I already have mine done that way. This does not need to be an engrave. Almost messed up because this is white material. So I actually want all of this just to be a cut. So this will be a quick little ornament. So we've only got a cut at 15 millimeters a second. All right, guys. Other than somebody forgot to frame and kind of missed the material just a little bit, it turned out good. But the good news is this little black piece will basically hide that in the finished product. So not that big a deal. It was just a demo. So I'm going to take a little spray and I'm going to wipe this just to get the soot off of the white, because there's a little bit got on there, probably mostly from my hands. But I'm going to wipe this anyway. Go ahead and wipe around the edge just to get any of that off of there, so I don't recontaminate it once I get it cleaned. But it cut really good. The pieces on the black, even though that was a really intricate little design, it cut out really well. So, and like all I had to do was like tap it and all the parts fell out. Oh well, I say all. There's one, I see one little piece right there behind the pig that didn't fall out. So I'm gonna need my trusty little shish kebab stick. There it goes. Now it fell out. So there we go. So there's the nativity scene. And I will tell you this, the cool part, and I didn't realize that, is this stuff's colored on both sides. So I thought I was gonna have, I didn't even pay attention to the fact that it's on both sides. So with what I've been running and what I've been using, it was only like pre-finished on one side. They sell it on two sides, but I haven't been getting it. So that's going to be pretty cool, especially with the black. Now I am getting this white. It's just collecting. Every time I touch something and touch it again, I'm getting it dirty. So I got to quit. All right, so there we go. Quit touching everything. So once you get those two pieces cut, guys, no painting, no nothing, and there it is. And I'm going to go here and put some glue on it, and we'll look at it in a little bit. But first, we're going to cut this same ornament over here on the MK2. That way you guys know what it does on a CO2 and a diode. But there you go. So let me get this over to the side. We're going to get the material in the MK2, and we're going to run one with the diode, and then we'll just look at the difference. All right, point score for the Hurricane for allowing me to be able to put both pieces of material in the machine, but unfortunately, we do not have adequate workspace with the MK2 to do so. So we're just going to paste our parts right here. I'm going to delete that guy. And this is the black part, so we're going to go ahead and grab our black piece, bring it into the work area here, and try to line it up, and I'm going to frame it. This is the 30-watt Roly, so we're going to be running this again at 8 millimeters a second. This is the black part, so we'll go ahead and knock that out. All right, guys, so I about wore that little design there out, and I'm going to show these to you better with the big camera here in a little bit. But I've done engraved single layer, 2-layer black over brown, and a 2-layer black over white so far. I've got one more little design I want to do. I also did this one. This is just a blank with that little wallpaper looking material on it. These you could also, if you had 2 lasers, you could technically cut these out with your bigger laser and then take them along with you for, you know, one of the smaller ones and engrave them if you wanted. But we're going to make one more, and I'm going to show you how I'm going to make it. But we're going to do this one with kind of a brown over black. I believe that's the colors I've got in there. But we're going to, yes, brown over black. We're going to do a brown background. I should say black over brown. Brown background, black foreground. So let's get started. I want to make this one a little differently, just to give you an idea of how easy it is to make these different ornaments. And if you're interested, guys, I have videos on making ornaments, and I make a bunch of different ornaments as well. This is not going to need to be engraved since this is colored material we're working with. So I'm going to change that to just a cut right there. And then let's see what else I got. Go print of my animals. Let's see. Let's take a dog footprint. Yeah, that'll work. So we're going to take and put this back black. I like when I'm combining shapes like this, I actually prefer to have it shaded. So I'm going to take these 2 designs right here, and I'm going to shrink this down. And what I want to try to do is I want to make this just big enough to where it intersects this perimeter here. So I can get it to way over. See how it's overlapping right there? So I've got little small places that it's overlapping. All right, so now I'm going to select all of it and join it together. And that's going to make this little paw print right here. So what I want to do is cut this paw print out of the black and put it on the brown. So I'm going to go ahead over here, make that back into a cut. And you'll see that's all of my cutting that it's going to do. One thing that you could, if you were concerned with it, you know, not looking as much like a dog print as you wanted it to, you could, and I'll show you this just to be showing, before combining these, you can duplicate that one, set it as a line, and then when you do combine, well, let me go over here to my cuts and layers. Let me turn that one off. So when you do combine the inside and that one, put those together, when you turn this blue line back on, you're going to have this line inside there together. So you can take this as well and go there, offset, tell it to offset it inward, 0.5 millimeters, and hit OK. And now you'll have like these 2 little lines right here, and those will be like on the paw print. So we'll leave those there. So we'll take this other black here, we'll turn that back to a cut, and then we'll leave those little paw print lines on there and show you what it looks like. So let me try to get this one, and this is going to be, let's just stick it right there. Let's just go with it. We're wasting material, but hey. So 15 millimeters a second, 100% power for the cut, and then the lines will be 80. So I'm gonna go ahead and right click here, sort cuts last, and send it. All right, guys, so there you have it. If you're wanting to make some ornaments, like I said, the material, it turned out good as far as there wasn't any painting. And anytime I can do away with painting, that's worth a little bit to me. So questions about this material, whether you can do it with a diode or whether you can do it with a CO2, I've demonstrated. Like I said, the 55 watt Atomstack CO2 should be comparable to any of your others, whether it's a Glowforge, X-Tool, P2, P2S, what is it, the Ohmtech, the Monport, all of those desktop CO2 lasers shouldn't have any issues with the material. So once you get it cut, you do a nice laser cut edge, and disregard that little bit of spill there. But I was a little generous with the super glue on the first couple. I was a little worried that it wasn't going to glue real well, being that it's pre-finished. But using the CA glue, they stuck really well. I didn't have any problems with anything adhering. It seems to have done a good job. While it is not the cheapest material to use, if you're someone who has a laser but doesn't like painting, like this guy, or you don't have a shop to break goods down and you don't want to have to go through the trouble of painting, this is a really good alternative from what I've seen so far to painting. And if you're making stuff like Christmas ornaments, you have options. You can do the 2-layered like this, which looks really cool with this material. This one's brown over black. This is a 2-layer here that I did with the nativity scene. But if you really want to try to stretch the material out and make it go further, with the lighter colors, this is actually a single layer with an engraved nativity. So you could do almost any kind of design that you wanted to do. The 2 layers do add that 3D-esque look to it, and I think the 2-layer designs kind of add a little something. It's not a whole lot to it. You don't have to mask, you don't have to paint. That's pretty good. Now, I'm using rubbing alcohol, and I didn't really check to see what they had recommended. This is what I usually use, so this is what I used. I did find that on some of the colors, if you're going to rub too vigorously, you may want to step down and use something a little less aggressive, maybe like Windex or something. All right, guys, so there you have it. One of the easiest ways of making Christmas ornaments, in my opinion, you have a pre-colored material that's already painted. You've already got your color there. Slap on a little glue between the 2 layers and tie a little piece of string on there, and boom, you have Christmas ornaments. Now, like I said, this material may not be for everybody, but a lot of guys and ladies have been asking me about different materials and, hey, what can I use? And I've been sitting here with this stuff, and I've been meaning to try it. I just hadn't got around to it, so I thought tonight would be a good opportunity to give some of you folks who maybe are just getting into it. This is a simple, easy project, easy way to generate especially like little stocking stuffers, or like around Thanksgiving, if you want to start going ahead and giving these out to people to try to get your name out there. Easy project, glue, string, a little bit of a pack of this wood. And like I said, the wood's not the cheapest thing out there. And before you go beat me up on the price of the stuff, it's really not that terrible if you use it the way that it's intended. This stuff is not intended to be making large projects with. It's just not. You want to stick with small things like custom ornaments, earrings, maybe like some custom, tags for book bags and stuff like that. Something that you can make that's going to have a pretty good resale value. If you sold these ornaments for, let's say, $10 to $15 a piece after you got through with them, then the material that you purchased in that pack for the price that's listed on their website, you would make that back plus some. So that's always something you've got to consider. And like I said, affordable is a matter of perspective. What's affordable to some might not be affordable to all. So make that decision yourself. But if you were looking for a material out there that can give you similar results to what you would get with, say, acrylic without being acrylic, might be an option. Like I said, and there's no painting. So that's always a good thing. But anyway, guys, like I said, just one more video for you guys out there that keep asking me those questions. I hope this helps. If this was beneficial to you, please drop a comment down below and let me know. Wait a minute, guys. I almost forgot. If you don't want to go through the trouble of making your own designs for your Christmas ornaments and everything, be sure to check out my Etsy shop. I got some designs over there already worked up, ready to go. Cheap price. You can afford them. Put them with the plywood. Wham! There you go. Instant projects. But yeah, go check out the Etsy. Sometimes I just base my videos on what emails and messages I got that week. And so that's why you got this one. But anyway, guys, until next time, be safe. Have a good day.